Welcome, drifters and miscellaneous human beings. SparkleDart here again. Today we're going to talk about candy. I think candy is really important, and I think it's kind of a staple for holidays and religion. The thing about candy is that it comes in all sorts of varieties and shapes and sizes and flavors and colors and colors and colors. But the thing about candy is that it's all sugar. So, okay, well, I take that back. The primary difference between most candies and Hershey's candies is that Hershey's is made out of chocolate. Now, chocolate might be primarily sugar if you're buying this certain kind of chocolate, I guess you could say. But the thing is, most chocolate, and that includes like dark chocolate, is made out of cocoa and raw cocoa powder. Oh, I got smashed by the ice again. That's what I do. That's how fucking stupid I am, I guess. So, pardon me. So, if you're buying Hershey's like normal chocolate, like the not dark stuff, I guess you could say, you're buying the wrong kind of chocolate, ladies and gentlemen, because that kind of chocolate is basically poison. Let me tell you. Cocoa powder is super good for you. It's an antioxidant. It's something you should take by itself without any extra sugars or stevias. I didn't see that seal there. I apologize so much. Stevia, Truvia, whatever the other ones are, Splenda, those are all basically carcinogens like tobacco and pipes and tobacco and marijuana. Marijuana, carcinogen. Believe that. Believe what I say. Marijuana is a carcinogen and you shouldn't take it. It's bad for you. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your bones. Don't take anti-bone medicine. Anti-bone medicine, which is what I'm going to call marijuana from now on, is not something that you should be taking, ladies and gentlefolk. Because you know why? Because it's bad for your bones. It'll deform you and make you into a weird skeleton human. And if you're a weird skeleton human, nobody's going to want to have sex with you. And that includes you, ladies. Now, some people here who have subscribed to something called the red pill might think that ladies of all walks of life can get sex whenever they want to. And let me tell you what, that's not true. I would never have sex with a weird bone lady. And that is not just me talking, that is most of the people that I pretend to know. So, if you're a weird bone lady, make sure you get off the raw cocoa powder and kick the real stuff. I said that sentence way wrong. Make sure you kick the fake stuff and get onto the raw cocoa powder for the anti-carcinogens, and don't smoke pot because smut will give you cancer. Pot will give you cancer, and yeah, that's basically. I honestly don't remember what I was calling pot just a minute ago. Maybe it's because I took too much drugs. Marijuana kills, you know. And it kills because there's drug dealers who will kill you if you're selling it on their corner. So, marijuana kills. Pot is bad for you if you don't know how to use it. And if you have cancer, you're pretty much fucked. So, you might as well just enjoy your cancer by smoking as much drugs as possible. I missed that one, man. I missed it. It was gone. I can't get it anymore. So, excuse me. I got extreme cottonmouth right now. I couldn't tell you why. I have no idea why. It's like an immaculate thing. It's not something that can be explained by science and nature, or reality, or realistic reality. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I got crazy from all the drugs that I've been taking over the past 15 seconds. Oh, gosh. So how do you like penguins? You know, I once went down to McMurdo Station, which is like right at the center of Antarctica, to do some manual labor for a while. I lifted up some boxes and I made some meals, some macaroni and cheese in the microwave for the patrons of the research station. And there at McMurdo Station, they had a lot of penguins and shit. Like, they had the Great Emperor penguins. They were real mean, actually. They would peck your hands just by trying to get close to them. Now, I don't know if you know any human birds or not, but they will never peck your hands. Human birds don't like to peck hands. Emperor penguins, they will do that. They will peck off your fingers. They would bite off your fingers if they could, but they don't have teeth. They might have teeth. Maybe they don't. I don't know. They're not sharp enough to bite off your fingers, though, because I know that because I didn't lose any fingers. But if they do bite off your fingers, then I guess you're pretty much screwed. So I would recommend not getting super close to the anti-penguin emperors. What did I just say? Anti-penguin emperors. I apologize. So, oh shit. It's another one of these ones. So, this game is notorious for having really bad ruin levels. I mean, every platform game has ruin levels, right? And this one has really notoriously bad ones where these stone moi heads launch fire at your balls and they try to suck on your wieners as you're just trying to jump over where they are. Watch this. So, they try to trick you by putting nitro crates behind the music is gone. The music is gone! I apologize for the music being gone. I'm going to put on classical Mozart. Maybe that'll loosen the blow of not having classical tunes of the Ruin Man anymore. Actually, this level is called Ruination, which is a weird corruption of Urination, Mr. Bandicoot Man. I wouldn't recommend taking life advice from the people who made this game, which are Naughty Dog Games. That's what they are. They made games like Uncharted and Jak and Daxter, and if they didn't make those games, I apologize for getting that wrong. It's just I don't know my video games very well because I don't play them very often. I mostly read games and new Game Informer magazine, where I go when I need to learn something new about video games to talk about on my channel because I just don't know. I don't go to E3 and I don't subscribe to Kotaku or IGN or whatever else they do to talk about video games on the internet. I think it's all garbage, really, because it's just like, who would pay another person to write an article about video games? Like, how droll can you be to write an article about video games and think that what you're doing makes a difference? Let me tell you what, it doesn't make a difference to anybody to write an article about video games. You know why? Because video games are something that anybody can do and play and make. And if you think that games like Gone Home are metaphysical, like they're super important and deep and full of message, then maybe you're just not watching the right movies or reading the right books. Because honestly, if you're reading a book by Kurt Vonnegut or Ernest Hemingway, then you shouldn't have a problem with being devoid of like deep, like philosophical meaning in your life. Because honestly, as much shit as Hemingway gets for being pretentious, he does have a point, and that point is that he understands the human condition. He understands that life is not as full of meaning and value as you would think it was. So he writes about the mundane. Have you ever read The Old Man and the Sea? It's really just a book about a man catching a fish. And if that sounds weird to you, it's because you've never heard anything so simple. There's a boy and there's a man. I don't remember the old man's name or the boy's name. The boy's name was probably Jeremias. I don't know. He wasn't black as far as I know. I didn't picture him as being black in my mind, but maybe his name was Jeremias. I don't know. But the old man, pardon me, he went crazy trying to catch a fish, which is pretty similar to another book by some man who wrote a book about a white whale. So if you've read that book, then don't read Old Man in the Sea, because it's kind of the same thing, except this one has Indians. And I don't mean the dot forehead Indians, I mean like the forehead feather Indians. You know the ones that I mean. I'm not trying to be racist here, but there's like two Indians, and we call them Native Americans, which is what I mean, by the way. We call them Native Americans because that's what they are. They went first to America before we got here and stole everything from them, even though they, I guess, rightfully earned it or whatever. They were just here first. We don't know how they were here first. They just were. Excuse me. They were here first, and we call them Native Americans, but we took all their land, and now we're the Native Americans because we're white. Let me tell you what, if you're not white, then what are you doing on this country? Oh, I fell down in the hole. If you're not white, then what are you doing in America? Because America is a melting pot. But what is the primary ingredients? Cheese, right? Mozzarella cheese, which guess what color that is? It's white. Mozzarella cheese is white, and that's what color America is at its very core. And that's not a racist thing, that's just true. Because America likes to pretend it's progressive, but it's really just full of people who have the same values and ideas and guerrillas as most of the nations, who only want to have one color of people in their country. 10 lives, huh? I've been real bad about killing myself here. So we'll let that happen, and then we'll do this. Oh my god, the gorilla. The gorilla, he keeps getting me. You know, I've talked about gorillas quite a few times now, and gorillas, honestly, they shouldn't be as problematic as they are, but I think they're starting to take over. And honestly, if a gorilla genocide is in our future, then I think maybe that's not the worst thing that we could do, because a gorilla genocide would really see that we don't get finagled by these giant monkeys that keep torching our villages and pummeling our humans and destroying our straw huts, even though I live in America, where I live in a steel house, and that's kind of what I do. It's made of steel and drywall and wood, but there are people who live with less, and they have to deal with gorillas. Now, if I had to deal with gorillas where I live, I guess I would not have a problem with that, because the gorillas don't really cause a problem for me. But living in Africa, let me tell you what, they have to bless the rains every day down in Africa. And if they don't, then the wild dogs cry out in the night. And as sure as Kilimanjaro rises above the Serengeti, I will see to it that Africa gets the love and respect that it deserves, because it's a very important nation with a lot to offer to the world. Even if they're not there quite yet. Pardon me. Are there bees? Okay, there's no bees. How many times have you had to ask that question in your life? Are there bees? No, there's no bees. Well, that sucks. Well, that sucks. Okay, so we're back on land. I have to get a checkpoint before this Moi head hits me again. You know what? This is, as stressful as you'd think this is really quite pleasant, because these bees are not as bad as the bees in real life that I have to deal with every single day. And to be quite fair, they're not really bees, they're actually wasps, but they don't know the difference. If you told them that they were wasps, they'd just be like, well, we're gonna sting you anyway. It doesn't matter if we die when we sting you or not. If we don't die when we sting you, we'll just sting you again, because that's what we do, we're wasps. Our stingers don't come out when we sting. And they do this every day. They do this all the time. And I would put up with it if I had to, but I don't have to. So I put on my apiarist mask and helmet and veil and deal with these bees like a normal human being should deal with them, and gather the honey. They do make honey, though, which leads me to believe that they are bees and not wasps, because as far as I know, wasps don't make honey, neither do hornets. Hornets, okay, so there's like a tier list of, first of all, there's bees on the bottom, that's the lowest tier. They make honey, the cutest of the bunch. You know them well, they're finally back to kick some tail. But then you have wasps, which are longer, and they are also black and white, but they are much more imposing, and they might have stingers on the hands, I don't really know. If Pokemon has taught me anything, then these hornets do have stingers on the hands, and I can't do anything to contest that, because they will just sting me with the hands. But after that comes wasps, and wasps are like completely black, if I remember correctly, if they're not like those black Australian wasps that, excuse me. Oh, I got stung by the wasps at the end of the stage. Stung at the end of the stage, wasps. So we're going to try that one more time before I take my leave, if you will. If you will, let me do so. I'm running real fast. Just for you. Just for you, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlefolk. Pardon me, that was my phone alarm. So, excuse me, where was I at? I was talking about bees and wasps. Okay, so bees are like pussy versions of wasps. They are not as cool. They are black and white, which is a lot cuter than being completely black. Believe me, I know. And Yeah, so if you're being chased by bees, just turn around and give them a good smack and they'll leave. They'll leave you alone. I promise. I can make that promise because I've been around bees. So, here's the deal. It took me one whole episode to complete 2 levels. I don't apologize for that. But, yeah, so we're going to go fight Metalface after this. Goodbye. Have fun. Toodaloo, ladies.